The Greek culture started in a region that is known today as the Balkans. The Balkans is located in the southeast part of Europe. The Balkans region has been inhabited by modern humans since before the 10th century BC, also called the Neolithic period. Archaeological evidence found in the cave known as the Cave of Bones, located in modern-day Romania, shows that modern humans' presence as far back as the 37th century BC. Archaeological evidence also shows that the Balkans region was the first in Europe to experience agricultural practices such as growing grain and raising livestock. Greek culture has influenced many cultures of today and cultures of the past. Greek culture has a strong influence in modern areas such as architecture, drama, science, mathematics, and philosophy. Although Greek culture's geographic start cannot exactly be known, cultural anthropologists think that Greek culture started in a region of the Balkans and more specifically in the country known today as Greece. The Greek culture influence has expanded and treated to other regions of the world. The Greek culture is thought by many anthropologists to have had a native land of modern-day Greece. The country of Greece is located in the south region of the Balkans. Greece is a peninsula that is surrounded by the Mediterranean Sea. The geographic of Greece is mostly mountains. Around 80% of the land is mountains. People of the Greek culture speak a language of the same name called Greek. Greek-speaking people are thought to have arrived to the Balkans region around 4,000 years ago. The Greek language is thought to be one of the oldest living languages. Living language meaning it is still spoken today. Today there are around 13 million people who speak Greek, with most of them living in the country of Greece and nearby island of Cyprus. The history of the language of Greek can be divided into 6 time periods, with each time period providing changes that helped evolve Greek language into what it is today. These time periods are from oldest to most recent: Proto-Greek, Mycenaean Greek, Ancient Greek, Koine Greek, Medieval Greek, and Modern Greek. In the oldest 2 time periods, Proto-Greek and Mycenaean Greek, Greek was spoken in most of the regions of the Balkans. During this period, the major changes to the language of Greek came through the development of the first writing alphabet of the Greek language, Linear B, and the phonetical alphabet. This alphabet of Linear B was developed by the Mycenaean culture, and the Mycenaean people lived in what is modern-day Greek. The variation of Greek language that the Mycenaean people spoke evolved over time and received major influences from other cultures of that time period. One of the major influences is from the Minoan culture. The Minoan people lived in the island of Crete from around 27th century BC to the 15th century BC. The Minoan people had a declining influence on the island until their eventual fall of influence in the year 1450 BC. Their declining influence is thought by archaeologists to have been from a natural disaster occurring on the island, but is not known for certain. In the years before the fall of their influence, the Minoan culture developed the written language called Linear A. The Mycenaean culture would adapt some of the cultural heritage of the Minoan people. One piece of culture that would influence the Mycenaean people was the Linear A writing script. This Linear A system would eventually become a major influence to the Mycenaean people's Linear B script. Linear B is the oldest Greek language that has survived in text. The Linear B script contains around 87 syllabic signs and over 100 ideographic signs. Phonological studies of the syllabic signs by descriptive linguists show that each of the 87 signs has its own phonemes. Phonemes are the smallest units of sounds that make difference in meaning. The Linear B language also contains ideograms, which represent a thing or an idea. Some of the Mycenaean ideograms were pictures that resembled physical objects. During this time period, there were also development of the Phoenician alphabet by the Phoenicia civilization. The Phoenician people lived in a coastal region of North Africa and Middle East. Phoenicia language was originally written from right to left, although there were some texts written in Buste-freedom. Buste-freedom is when lines of a text are written left to right and right to left in opposite order. The Phoenician alphabet did not use ideograms to show meaning like the Linear B format, but like the Linear B format, the Phoenician alphabet did use symbols made up of shapes and lines to represent phonemes. The Phoenician alphabet would become the building blocks to the Greek alphabet, which was developed in the 3rd time period of the Greek language, the Ancient period. The major changes that the 3rd period, the Ancient time period, brought to the language of Greek was the Greek alphabet. The Greek alphabet has been used to write Greek language since the beginning of the 8th century BC. The Greek alphabet consists of 24 letters, each with its own symbol. The Greek alphabet implemented the first use of vowels and nouns in written Greek language. Nouns are used to indicate person, place, or thing. Vowels are sounds in a spoken language that use an open vocal tract. An open vocal tract is when your throat is open so there is no buildup of air in the throat. The Greek alphabet allowed for the expansion of literature in the ancient Greek period. This expansion allowed philosophers, poets, and scientists to develop their ideas into writing that would last for years to come. The expansion of writing allowed future generations to read the work of previous generations. Another major influence of the ancient time period on Greek language was the rise of three dialects. A dialect is a regional or class variation of a language that are sufficiently similar to be mutually intelligible. These three dialects were Aeolic, Doric, and Attic Ionic. The first, Aeolic, was spoken mainly in central Greece and Asia Minor. Asia Minor is a geographical region located in what today is the country of Turkey. The Aeolic dialect is most famous for its use in the writing of poetry. The second dialect, Doric, was spoken in the southern region of Greece and southern Italy and also in the island of Crete. The third dialect, the Attic Ionic, was spoken in the western coastal regions of Asia Minor and was for centuries the language of Athens. Athens was one of the most populous cities in ancient Greece. Like the Aeolic dialect, the Attic Ionic dialect was used for the writing of poetry. The Attic Ionic dialect was the variation of Greek language in use in Macedonia when Alexander the Great took to power. Alexander the Great expanded the Greek Empire into the northern Balkans region, Asia Minor, and Egypt. This spread of the Greek Empire by Alexander the Great also meant the spread of the Attic Ionic dialect that he spoke. With the spread of this new dialect, a new variation of the Attic Ionic dialect was formed called the Koine Greek, also known as the Alexander Greek. The fourth time period of Greek language was called the Koine Greek period. Although there are more similarities than differences between the ancient and Koine Greek languages, there are a couple of major changes that gave rise to Koine Greek. One of these changes took place in the grammar of the language. Pronouns are used more frequently in the sentence, alternating the syntax of the language. The syntax meaning the process by which the sentences are constructed in a language. The grammar is also altered by decreased use of single-syllabic nouns used to represent plural forms. Also, the system of writing left to right has become universally used in Greek language. The grammatic changes helped eventually evolve the Greek language into the variation of Greek that is spoken today. The last two time periods of Greek language are the medieval and modern Greek. In these time periods, Greek language evolved through changes in its structure. The first change was in the number of vowels used in the Greek alphabet. The number of vowels was reduced from around 11 in the ancient time period to the use of 5 vowels in modern Greek. This reduction in number of vowels can be contributed to the loss of the four-vowel height system used in past systems. Also, the length distinction of vowels and consonants was also done away with during this time period. The modern Greek language has adapted the use of upper and lower case writing. These uppercase allow distinction in writing. The uppercase are used similar to their use in English language, where they are used to indicate the beginning of a sentence or to indicate a person, place, or thing. The simplification of a system of prefixes is also a major change in the evolution of Greek language. The modern time period also brought the end of the plural form dual number. The dual number meaning exactly two. Modern Greek is considered a synthetic language, which means each word is made of a high number of smaller words that each convey their own meaning. In conclusion, the Greek language has many changes throughout history. The major changes include the first development of the written alphabet called Linear B system and the development of the Phoenician alphabet, which led to the creation of the Greek alphabet. Later changes included variation of Greek language and the growth of the Greek Empire. The final change brought on by the rule and the grammar changes helped evolve Greek into what it is today.